Hi, welcome back. This is Sally with Rainy Day Gypsy, and this is part 2 of the pages section for the Amour journal. All right, so let's continue on. This is what we've done so far. This was in part 1 of pages. We've got this page, which is our center page here. If you were working with me in part 1, this is what you should have. Okay, so that's looking nice so far. Okay, by the way, please excuse my dyed hands and fingernails. Sheila and I have been dyeing again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our next little page, which is an easy peasy. I started with a 8 by 4 inch piece of music paper, and I'm just going to fold it in half, and that's going to be a page. There you go. Don't you wish they were all that easy? So there's that one. The next one we've got, it's a little more involved. So let's start with just a half sheet, an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of tea dyed paper, and I cut it down to 5.5 by 8, so I took off ½ inch. And on this one we're going to use some lace, get to the good stuff. So on the back, well, let's fold it in half. Let's get our crease ready. And try and do it a lot neater than I do. I like messy, but not messy. Okay, so I'm going to put a ribbon on the back side of that sheet. And I'm going to let it hang over top and bottom. And I'm going to let it hang over the side a bit, like that. So I'm going to put some glue right along this sheet right here. I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to put about, 3/8 of an inch into the paper. You don't need to get too technical here, but. And then I'm going to lay it on the ribbon like this so I can kind of see what I'm revealing. Right there. Okay, there's that. Now on the front of that, it'll be this way. On the front of that I'm going to put some lace. And I've got some trusty lace here, and I'm going to do this. I'm not going to hang it over top and bottom, but I am going to hang it over here. And I want just about that much. And I'm going to put it right along there. So let's do another 3/8 of glue. I like that. And that should hold it really well. Okay. Now on the back, or the other side, we're going to go ahead. Isn't that pretty? Okay, we're going to go ahead, and I have a piece of that blue paper that I used that's kind of old, and I embossed it on my little Sizzix, and I want to put it here, so I'm going to use let's go in and put about ½ inch there. Ooh, I better get my gluing papers out here and put it right there. Make sure it's straight. Let me get my trusty glue sheets. It's still not straight. And I am going to tear that off even with the ends. Why, I don't know, it looked kind of good that way, but you can do whatever you want to do. And then I've cut a piece of paper or fabric, any fabric you like, and I'm going to place that over that. And of course this it's just the size of the paper. It looks like it's about 5.5 by 4. And it looks a little crooked. There's going to be a pocket down here, so line it up mostly with this side and this side. You can stretch it. Okay, so I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac on that. And what I'm going to do, I believe, is I'm going to go over this. I'm going to put it on the glue on this thing rather than on the fabric. I like that. Now I'm going to use this little page from a diary, and I'm going to fold it. In half. I cut it out. It's in the DigiKit, and I'm going to put it right here. And let's just cut it to that width. Tear it, I should say, tear it to that width. And let's go ahead and put glue. You know what I'm going to do on that? I'm going to sew this on. So I'm not going to sew it yet. I'm going to put a paper clip here so that I know that I need to come back and sew that. And I cleaned up my work table so my paper clips are missing. So anything that needs sewing, I'm just going to clip for now and come back and show you what I did later. Okay, so now at this point I would go ahead and distress that with my old paper ink. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that, but you need to do it if you want to. Okay, so here we go. Here's our other page. Okay. Ooh, I love it. Okay, the next one we're going to use something you do not have in your kit, but it's that old scrapbook paper. And it's wider than 8 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it at an 8-inch mark. Or I mean a 4-inch mark, I'm sorry. And it's really crispy, so this is going to need some, definitely some washi tape to repair it. And then I'm going to fold this over like this because I'm going to make a pocket. So I'm going to fold it back like that. All right, at this point, either use washi tape or like, masking tape or something. Look at that. Or masking tape or something to hold those together, or use something else entirely for the paper. So I'm going to cut some washi that comes in your DigiKit that you run through your little sticker maker. And I'm going to do it both sides because it needs a lot of help. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to washi this one, I'm just going to glue it on. So let's glue this on as a little pocket right there. We'll save our washi from using our washi. So let's just fold this. And it will be bound there through that washi tape, so that'll give it some stability. It might even need another layer sooner or later before you bind it. But like I say, you might just want to use something something different than that old scrapbook paper, because like it's really delicate. Every time I use it, I think, but I love the look, so it is worth using. Okay, let's make this one a pocket. Glue it on 3 sides. Okay, it's right there. And on this side, I used, I have a little embossing piece here, and I'm just going to tear a piece from it and put it right there. Ooh, that looks good. And I'm going to use the purple glue, my trusty purple glue. I love the combination, this white and that brown stuff. Okay, so on the back side then, where we have the pocket, and this will help with the stability of it all too, I'm going to sew some stuff here. So I'm going to tear it and get it ready to sew, and like I say, I'll put a paper clip there and then come back and do that later. I kind of like this piece. I'm going to pull this piece apart, if it will. And I did that crooked because I like it crooked. And I'm going to sew that right here, and I'm going to put, from our dyed kit, I'm going to put some seam binding there. So stay tuned so you can see what that looks like after I sew it. So right there, about that length, this length. And let's put a trusty paper clip there so we know what we're doing. Ha ha, that'd be a first, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's put our caps on our glue so we don't have another issue. All right, so this one goes in our pile. And he will go to the sewing machine sooner or later. And there's a little pocket here that we'll put something in. And go ahead and ink it up. I'll do that after I'm off camera so that you can see it on the next go around. Okay, our next page, 8.5 by 5.5 piece of tea dye, just half a sheet. And I'm going to fold it in about 2 inches over here. And then I'm going to give this one a 4-inch, fold it like this. And that's done. That was an easy peasy, except for this, and this is going to be sewn. So I'm just going to paper clip it. Ooh, that was fast. I like that. Okay. Oops. Next one is our one of our little maps. I can't tell where that is. Somewhere in France. And we're going to go ahead and put paper on the back of him, just to stabilize him, just to make it a little stronger. So I have pulled out a little piece of music paper. Let's do that. When you're gluing these things, make sure you get them right side up. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much, but sometimes it might. And this little section here, let's just do this. Only I tore it too small, so keep that one. These diary pieces that we included in the Digi Kit, if you read them, they're very interesting. I made $2 an hour today and walked into town, and you know, it's like, wow, kind of neat. Okay, I'm gonna just tear this with my ruler. Makes it a little easier. So the last week or so, Sheila and I have been dyeing beautiful, beautiful silk ties. And we're going to have them for sale soon. I think she's going to release them Monday, maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so this one's done. Anyway, they're just beautiful. There's that. Okay, next one is we're gonna use a little napkin here. And I pulled this napkin out. Let's fold it in half. Oh, this is a piece of white cardstock, and I tore it at 7 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I'm gonna fold it exactly in half for a double page. Okay, and I pulled this napkin out because I love these greens in here to go with that velvet. Ooh, love that. And unfortunately, I ruined that little bird before, so I'm just going to take the nest. Yeah, I'm going to take the nest out. And so bear with me while I tear around this nest. Sorry, little bird. But you got your head torn off. And I try not to leave any straight edges. I mean, you could, I guess, along the edge of the paper, but there. Okay. The colors on that are gorgeous, so obviously this is not going to fit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to put some purple glue on the back of this, and you have to be very careful because it will rip, so just take it easy. Ooh, that's weird. I guess I'm about at the end of that one. But just take it easy and go slow. Oh, I just ripped it with glue on my fingers. I might end up putting this glue on the paper itself. And be careful so that you can smooth it out without getting wrinkles. Okay, all right, this glue goes in the bin. I think this one might be good. Okay. All right, there's that. That smeared that around, didn't it? That'll dry, and when you distress it with the ink, it'll get kind of dark there, which looks good. I'll just trim this off a little bit. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do a little ribbon from our seam binding. I'm going to tie a little bow. And when you distress your page, you can distress over this and it makes it look older too. Sorry about that. I just jiggled the camera. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to glue it down pretty good. I'm going to kind of smush it rather than letting it puff up. So I'm going to put little glue areas. Doesn't take much. See, I like that. Okay. Okay. Now let's turn that page over. And let's put a little piece of our kit. I'm going to kind of tear this jiggity at the bottom. And this is going to hang down from the page. Just a little, half an inch maybe. And I'm going to tear it up here. So I'm going to put it right there. I don't use my bone folder on that because I'm afraid it'll flatten out the embossing. Okay. And then I have taken a little snip from the velvet pack just along the edge, and I'm going to gather this up with the sewing machine. So let's put a clip there. Okay, he's done. That's pretty. That seafoam green really has me going. Okay, the next one we're going to use a page from an old music book, and I have cut it 8 3/4 by 9. And I'm going to fold it up about 3 inches so that it's 6 inches high or thereabouts. And I'm going to take that to the sewing machine also. So I'll put a clip on it to remind me. Okay. And so that's that front side, and we'll clip it so that we know we're going to the sewing machine. I hope that doesn't drive you guys nuts that I do that all at the end. But I hate to stop the tape and come back. Okay, and then on this side, I took a piece from the ribbon, the silk ribbon that's on the velvet pack, and I'm just going to lay that there. And it can hang over top and bottom if you want it to. Oh, that's pretty. And then I'm going to put one of our little cutouts on there. And that I think I'm going to use the other glue, just because I don't want to risk tearing it. Putting the glue on. This might be tricky though. Doesn't need much. Okay. I love it. Okay, I hope you're having fun doing this. I hope yours is turning out the way you like it. Next, I'm going to use a page, the page of the book, and I'm going to tear off that little corner, and then of course I'll ink those up. And this one is, it is 9 by 6. I'm going to leave the 6, but I'm going to turn an inch in, like right here, or an inch or so. And then I'm just going to fold it in half. So this one might be a skinnier page, but that's good. I want it like this. So when we turn it over, it's like this. And I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and glue this in for a pocket. And I'm going to put a little piece of the velvet ribbon there. There's that. And then I'm going to put this little piece of lace here so it flips over the edge. And I'm going to glue it all under here. So let's just see. So that's that page. You see, this will flap over. Okay, so I like that. Like this. Nope, I like it like this. Okay. Ooh, I think we have an easy coming up. Oh no, this one's this has got a lot of good stuff on it. Okay. So on this one, and again, it's just a half sheet of tea-dyed paper, and I trimmed it to 7 3/4 by 5 1/2. And there's nothing on that side, so let's just fold it in half. So there's that. We're going to turn it over, and we're going to do some fun stuff here. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to cut out the little library card, and we're just going to glue that down. And then we're going to take our little multiplication card that we cut out on cardstock. We printed on cardstock and then cut out. We're going to put a little, well, let's glue some stuff up first. Let's put a little piece of the steno there. You can put anything you want. I just grabbed some scraps that we had left over. You should have some pretty good scraps by now. So we're going to go ahead and do this one up. And I thought maybe we'd use some of this. And I kind of want to use a fun page there. I didn't pull anything out. Dang it. Oh, let's go back to our trusty. Yeah, let's use some of this. Yeah, let's do that. I love these ledger sheets when you get the piece with the page number on it. I always love those the best. Let's put that little guy, this little cutout. Let's put him right there. And let's put a little of this glue on him because the other stuff I'm afraid will tear, so we'll just do this again. I'm just barely touching it. Hope I got enough on there. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Add a little tab. And this is just the velvet ribbon from the velvet kit. You can sew this on if you want to, whatever you want to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on this sheet with some washi tape. I love my washi tape. I'm working on some more washi tape for my next stitchy kit. Okay, there you go. There's that one. Okay, that one's done. Let's add it to our book. Look how our book is coming along. I'm loving that. Okay, next one. Moving right along. On this one, I cut a piece of lined paper sideways, as you can see, and I did cut it 8 by 5. And I did nothing. Let's fold it in half. I did nothing on that side, but I'm going to do something over here. Now right here I have this little ribbon again, and I'm going to, I'll show you. I'm just going to make a little decoration, like a little tab kind of thing. So I'm going to put glue on the whole thing, and then I'm going to put my paper over half. Nice and even, if possible. And then I'm going to fold this over. Okay. And then I have a little piece of muslin that I'm going to glue along here. And it's fraying, which makes it pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this and ruffle it as I go. Now this can get kind of hard because your fingers get glue on them and everything. It's not hard, it's just you gotta stay on top of it. And I just kind of smush it up. Sometimes you'll need to stop and put a little more glue on. Ooh, that worked well. And let's just snip that off. Even with the paper. Then I've got another little piece of silk right here that I wanted to do on top of that. And I'm going to move it up a little bit so that it, you see the little ruffle below. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with that. I'm just going to do it higher. So let's go here. And that, I did not try and make that look gathered real pretty. This is my look. If you want it gathered, you know, perfectly, you might want to do it in your machine. Then I pulled this little blingy piece off of some stuff that Sheila has. And I'm just going to add that in here and make it, put a little bling. Okay, those greens and blues and seafoamy things are just so pretty, all of them, all the different colors. Okay, there's that one. And we'll come back and do some stamping, and of course you're going to do some inking. And this one is done. Okay, on to the next. Okay, so this one I wanted to go ahead and use this sheet that's in your Digi kit. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold it so that this is this side. So we're going to fold it this way. Fold the French document in towards itself. And we're just going to leave, well, we'll put maybe something fun along the edge there. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, I've got some good stuff on this one. I'm going to put some of this blue diary because I just love that. Okay, there's that side. On this side, I've gone ahead and done some fun things. I'm gonna use this little braille piece from your pack, from your kit. Too much glue? Getting carried away. Getting carried away with the purple glue. Okay. So let's put this guy on this side. Maybe a little piece of this. Now for this one, I did a little teeny tiny bit of embroidery. So you can do that, or you can use anything you want to on this. But I did a little piece of embroidery in the slide. And I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and finish this little collage. So this did not even need to be torn apart, but I did, and I didn't need to. I could have ripped the slide out. So right at this point, I'm going to glue this back together. I'm not even going to worry about gluing the piece of embroidery inside it. I'm just going to glue it over. Doesn't need much, just to keep it together. Okay, so my little piece of embroidery is right here, and you can see it's really extensive. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw around the outside of this slide, and then I'm going to cut that little embroidery out like 1/8 inch in on all sides. There. Just so it fits inside that slide without hanging out. So just come in and cut it about, 1/8 inch out. I mean inside that line. And no one will see those edges. Right there. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on this to hold it in place till I can put the slide over it. Ooh, that's not just a dab. Little dab will do ya. I always keep a baby wipe here to get the gunk off my hands. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and put down a little piece of decoration and a little piece of silk over that and a little button there. Okay, let's do that. Don't need much glue. Then we're going to take some lace and put it across the bottom so that it falls beyond the bottom of the page. Don't throw that away. It could be a good little piece someday. And then I'm also going to put a little string of our little this stuff, seam binding. And I'm going to do it the exact same way I did those little ruffles on the previous page, or so. Yeah, I guess it was the previous page. And I do it better this side, this way. Kind of spread that out, flatten it out. It just takes some doing. Try not to get your hands all wrapped up in it. I know, it's kind of tricky. And then get glue all over everything. That's an issue, but hey, there's that page. Ooh, I like it. Getting fat. Getting fat. Okay. Next one we're going to use another plain old half sheet of tea dye. And I cut it 8 by 5.5, I believe. 8 by 5.25. 5.25. So we're going to fold it in half. And on this side, I'm going to go ahead and put another piece of our little ribbon there. I'm going to try this glue for this. I think it'll work. And then I'm going to do that. And because this is going to be over the velvet and everything, I think I'll use the Fabri-Tac on this. Just 'cause I can. Probably give it a better hold. Okay, other page. I thought I'd do this. And you notice because it's Amour, we have a lot of this Romeo and Juliet stuff going around. Okay. So we'll tear that, just go ahead and use that on this side. And I'm going to do this one also. This is from the little diary entry. Flip them over. Now, I want some more of that lace curtain that I used. Right here. And I'm going to put another strip of that right there. And I'm going to sew it. And when I take it to the machine, I'm going to sew that on, and I'm going to gather this too. So I'm going to paper clip that so that I know it goes to the machine. Ooh. Maybe. There. Okay. Actually, I want this one to fold like this. So this goes here. Okay, moving on. The next one's an easy peasy. I'm just going to use a piece of that pretty blue stuff I dyed with the cabbage. I cut it 7 3/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put this from the kit. I'm going to glue this down on one side. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue right here. I think I'll trim that. You could leave it big and hanging over, but I think I'll trim it. Or even tear it, might be pretty too. And that's that. The next one I did with another piece. Oh, this is newsprint. You could use tea dye. I just happened to use newsprint, and I cut it 8 by 5 1/2. I'm going to fold it in half. Anytime you use something different, you know, it just gives it a little different color, a little different texture, a little different something going on. I'm going to leave that just there for journaling. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put, tore this little guy out, and I think I'll just center him right there. Yeah. And I'm going to take this and tear it somewhat straight. It's a relative term, isn't it? And put it up across the top. It's kind of crooked there, but I like it. Even that up, especially since I got glue there. Don't want it to stick to all my pages. Okay. And this is where I use the piano paper roll. I want this to show. So I'm going to fold this let's see. I'm going to take about a ½ inch off of this. And I'm going to glue this right sides together here. Because it's a hassle. It's giving me fits. And I'm going to take this to the machine and sew it. Or should I I think I'll just do this. Because I want to add some lace to this. There's a little pocket for some tabs we'll make later. And I want to put this on here. I thought that was kind of pretty. When I put glue on lace, I'm careful where those little open holes are. Ooh, and that was oodles of glue. I was just gonna say, I don't put a lot of glue because I don't want it oozing up through there. Okay, there's that. Another one done. And keep inking them up as you go. Next page. This one I used another ½ sheet of the tea dye. What would we do without tea dye? And oh, that's what I did. I had printed this letter on tea dye, so I'm going to use this on one side. on this side, and I'm going to use this one like this, so it'll fold in, the letter will fold in. So this is in your DigiKit. Maybe we should use it like this. Let's do this. Okay. So on this one, I'm going to use a, oh, I think I'll use that. Use that here. Okay, done. Put all these little snippets out here, and I knew what I was doing when I put them out here, but you know how that goes. And I'm going to tear kind of a messy piece of music. Put it here. Don't want to cover up too much of that. And you can either leave that hanging down or cut it off. And then I'm going to tear just a little piece of this and put it in the corner. And this is in your kit. The Peabody Hotel, Memphis. Must be Mr. Peabody. Wasn't there a cartoon, Mr. Peabody, with the little scientist kid? Or help, Mr. Wizard. Wasn't his name Peabody or something? Most of you don't even remember that cartoon. Help, Mr. Wizard. Remember that? I still say that. Yeah, his name was Peabody. I'm pretty sure I'll have to look that up. Purple glue smells like stale cigarettes. I might have to invest in something else. Okay, that one's done. Another one in the pack. In the pack you go. This next one, I pulled the old blue paper again. You can use anything you want to. And it's 9 1/4, so I'm going to fold it back on itself about to 7 1/2. And that's going to be a little flap there. And then I'm going to fold this at give this side a 4-inch. Right like that. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to use this up here. I thought it was pretty. Yeah, let's just do that. I'll use my stale cigarette glue. And I want to use that, this one. I'm going to use that down here, and I'm going to hang it below the page. And I'm going to tear this kind of along that embossing stuff. So it doesn't have a straight edge, it kind of follows the embossed roses. Oopsie. Okay. Whoa. I was going for that glue. A little inking up will do him. Make him look older. So there's that one. Next one, I'm using another one of the letters that I yes, the second part of that letter. And I'm going to use, let's turn him around. Let's keep him this way this time. Let's keep Mr. Peabody on the right-hand side. And let's, oh, I hate to cover him up so much. Let's use a half sheet of tea dye, 8 by 5. Oh, this is 7.5 by 5.5. Let's use it. I'm going to use this as the envelope, and let's fold this in half. Sorry if I wiggled the camera. And I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Peabody over here and fold this up. Am I going to do that? This is what I had planned. Oh, you know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. This is what I had planned. I'm going to fold this here, and I'm going to glue him on. Mr. Peabody, help Mr. Wizard. So we're going to put him on there. He'll have to be trimmed up, but I'm sticking to everything. This is our last page. Let's tear this like this. We're going to use this piece. All your little pieces, they always come in handy. And then I'm going to glue this piece on as a pocket. Okay, this is going to be a pocket, and it's going to hold our little Romeo and Juliet piece, if I could find that. I'm not finding it, but we'll show you that when we do our tags. So, and you know what? I'm going to fold this down just a little bit to give it a little more strength right there. So I want to put some glue there. Then I'm going to use the other glue, and I'm going to make a pocket out of it. Okay. And I think I'll put a little bit of this up there next to Mr. Peabody. Okay. All right, let's flip that one over. This is our very first page in the book. And I'm going to go ahead and make a pocket out of the, or a little side pocket thing out of this. Maybe that's kind of, maybe I should fold that in two. And that might be a little bit too... Okay, I've changed my mind. I pulled this, the ledger out, and it's wider, and I'm going to use it instead of that other piece. I'm just going to fold it like this. It's not a lot wider. Let's use that piece. Oops, I'm sorry. You guys are going to be jiggled all over the place. Okay, so let's put this down. Took me a long time to figure out what glue I like for where. I always wondered why these journalers were using this glue and then that glue, and after a while I figured out what I liked to use where. And I'm sure you'll do the same thing. Okay, that's cool. All right, now we're going to add this as a little tab right there. And we're going to use this one. This is our last page, which is really our first page in the journal. Does that make sense? Probably not. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's our first page. And there you go. So that is the end of part 2. Those are all the pages. So come back and visit me for part 3, and we're going to go through and make sure everything on the pages is sewn and stamped, and in the meantime I will go ahead and distress all the edges of the papers. So thank you very much for being with me. You guys have a great day. See you in part 3. Bye-bye.